Well, that was almost a faux pas. I forgot to go live. I did the introduction, so there we go. But anyway, hi folks, we're here. Good evening. Welcome along. Joining me this evening from a hospital somewhere in deepest, darkest Englandshire, much appreciated, Craig, is obviously our very own Craig. And the news that we're here to impart, which I'm sure you're all aware of, is that 15 minutes ago, Rangers confirmed the biggest open secret in Scottish football, that Jack Butland is the new Rangers goalkeeper. Craig, your thoughts?
Well, I thought we were going to be talking about the new home kit, but we'll probably cover that off tomorrow. Yeah, very happy. Like you say, it's not a massive secret that we've been linked with him for a little while, but delighted that it's all confirmed. And just seeing, there was a part of me that was thinking, please don't let it be another year for one of the other goalkeepers. Let's get it actually signed on the dotted line. So yeah, very happy. Over the moon that he's confirmed him through the door.
Yeah, I mean, I just having a look at his Wikipedia page. I don't tend to look too much into players until we actually sign them, because quite frankly, I've better things to do all the time than spend all day looking at rumours and stuff. But obviously, we've known for a while that Jack's been coming in. I believe that the delay was obviously because Man United had an FA Cup final on Saturday, and he was part of their squad for that, and also that Crystal Palace had an option of a 1-year extension, which they had till yesterday to take up, and they haven't taken it up. So he's ours now. See, he's 30 years old. He's 6'5", which will be nice. From the little I've seen of him, I know he comes for crosses, which is good.
Yeah.
Having a quick look at his career. I mean, obviously he's got England caps all the way through the. All the way through the systems from 16s upwards. He's got 9 full England caps. He was the goalkeeper in the Great Britain Olympic team London 2012, which I'd forgotten about. And obviously, I mean, he started off at Birmingham City, which I think would be probably his whole-time club. I think he's a Birmingham lad. He had 3 years at Birmingham, while he was here, he went out on loan to Cheltenham for a couple of years. He had 7 years at Stoke. Here's we've got another, we've got the Teeths joining us. Robert, good evening.
All right.
How are we?
I'm all right, yeah. I thought I'd come on. It's first I've ever done a breaking news one, and it's quite a big one,
Good.
so I thought I'd jump on.
Okay, so what's your thoughts then? New goalkeeper?
Oh, it's got to be good. He's got a good repertoire. Probably one of the best we're ever going to really get when you think about it. And it's a freebie, so I know the wages will be good, but no, it's a good sign. It's an exciting one.
Yeah, I think the wages. I mean, he'll be on a decent lift, but I believe we've tied him up for probably about half what Man United were offering because they wanted to keep him. But I'm assuming that's why it's a 4-year deal, because we've probably offered them over 4 years what Man U offered them over 2. I would assume, which means that he could have theoretically signed for them for 2 years, not played any football, and then gone somewhere else. But then again, he might not have gone somewhere else. So he's probably taken, for me, Craig, the security of a 4-year deal and making the money he would have made over 2 at Man United, and he'll be playing football.
Yeah, the thing is, obviously, like you say, he'll be playing football, and he's only got to look across at Scott Carson. He could go and do that in 4 or 5 years' time. He can go and sign for an English team as their third choice goalkeeper, take a load of money in when he's late 30s, and not be out of pocket, be past his best at sort of number 1 stage. Now he's got the opportunity to obviously play football. I didn't actually realise until I read on his Twitter earlier that he's actually a Man United fan. So he's then turned down the opportunity to stay at his club he supports to obviously come to Rangers.
Yeah, I didn't realise he was a Man United fan until you put it on the group chat. So, Robert, it's a bit of a coup then for Rangers to manage to get him from the clutches of Man United.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. I think as well, there was a wee video, I thought it was posted earlier on, when he was, I don't know if it was recently or whatever, he was on his holidays with Joe Hart. So whether they're close or not, I do not know, but you'd like to think he's maybe looking at Joe Hart and what he's sort of done in terms of coming up to Scotland, playing every week, playing in Europe, winning stuff begrudgingly, and probably think I can get a bit of that as well. So I think it's a great move for all parties. The one guy that I'm maybe sitting the night, maybe no feeling so great, might be McCrory, which I'm sure you'll want to, but in the eyes of it, I don't think there'll be a out there that's disappointed with this signing tonight, Wolf.
No, I think, Robert, I think it's good. It's good for Robbie McCrory. I mean, because if McCrory came in as first choice, and it crashed and burned. That's his Rangers career finished. And he's only, what is he, 25-year-old? So he'll come in he's probably got the promise of being at least the cup keeper. You'll get games at Butland, because Butland can't play in every game. It's just not possible, the amount of football that we're hopefully going to be playing. And then, so if he sees out his 4-year contract, McCrory's still only 28 when he leaves. Then that's him setting the goal. 28 is no age for a goalkeeper, is it really?
No, not at all. McGregor's played his 40s, Craig Gordon as well, so there's certainly longevity in that position. But I just think it's a good signing for us. We needed a goalkeeper, one a real high quality, one that can come in and you can be confident in. So Jack Butland will have no problems playing at top level, and I mean that, hopefully Champions League.
Yeah, Craig, is it a bit of a worry that he's hardly played in the last sort of few years?
No, I think if it was an outfield player, you'd have that worry. But I think as a goalkeeper, it won't take him as long to get up to match fitness, in my opinion, as it would an outfield player. They still do a lot of training as goalkeepers, and most of the time, and he's probably going to have it at Rangers, most of the time goalkeepers aren't running around the full 90 minutes. They have to obviously be more switched on in the head. So I don't think it's going to be an issue. I think he'll quickly get up to speed.
That's an issue as well for me, though, Greg. Having played where he's played, played Birmingham, Barnsley, Leeds, Derby, Crystal Palace. I don't think, in fact, didn't play at all for Man United during his loan spell. And even when he played for England through the ages, he's not so much with England, but certainly with the club side. He's played for teams where he's been busy. Where there's lots and lots of the ball. At Rangers domestically, he's not going to see a lot of the ball. So is that a worry for you that the concentration thing might be an issue? Because obviously he'll be used to, in the games he's played, having lots to do. But playing for us, he probably isn't going to have lots to do. But when he does have something to do, he's going to have to do it.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I think he's pretty switched on. I mean, you don't get to play for England, 9 or 10 times if you're not good. I mean, and a few of the games he has played for England, he would have been in a similar situation. He wouldn't have been peppered all game. He'd have to be in a position where he's only going to have 3 or 4 things to do all match. No, I think and I think it will only help, like you said, it will only help McCrory as well, because he's going to have another goalkeeper now who's got all that experience that he can use to support him.
Yeah. So Robert, we've got new number one. We've got McCrory pushing him for number 2. What happens to John McLaughlin?
Well, I think if you're John McLaughlin, you're maybe saying, I need to get a move to be playing. He's not going to want to sit there as number 3, surely. I don't think so anyway. And I think he probably had a tough season last year. The game he did play in, he didn't really cover himself in any glory. I think he got in a 1-year extension last year, sort of midway through the season or in November time. So if you can get I'd probably, to be honest, I think John would agree. He's like anywhere near it. I think it is the end of the Auckland. The other two, young, exciting. You're laughing really. I'm look at the grin on me as you call me the teeth earlier. They're on show tonight.
Well, I saw the teeth before I saw who it was that was coming on in the bottom of the screen. So Craig, do you think about John McLaughlin? Do you think we'll have difficulty shifting him, because he hasn't played a lot, and when he did play at the start of last season, he didn't fill himself with. He didn't do his reputation a lot of good, which is why McGregor had to come back in. And obviously, as Robert says, he's under contract. So will we get money for him, or we'll just have to let him go?
I don't think we'll stand in his way too much. I think if we get a decent, we signed him on a free. I reckon if the club could get anywhere up to £500,000 for him, they would probably accept and move him on. The key thing for Down, he'll get a move down to England, I reckon, because he fits the English quota. So particularly for clubs who like a Man, not necessarily saying he'll go to a Man United, but clubs that are going to be in Europe, maybe like an Aston Villa, will probably bring him in as a second or third choice goalkeeper, because it fills their quota for European games, like we've obviously had with Alan McGregor and Robin McCrory. So there will be clubs, and similarly there'll be clubs in the Championship who £250,000, £500,000 aren't going to turn that down if they get a good, dependable goalkeeper, or even as a number 2.
That's what I was hoping you were going to say, because that was the next point I was going to make if you didn't say that. So Robert, your sound seems to be a bit dodgy, but we'll try this again. So see if your sound's any better, because you started off okay and then you were getting a wee bit Norman Collier there. There's one for the teenagers. I noticed, just having a look through his career stats, that the only thing that Jack Butland's won is a bronze medal in the Nations League. With, I'm assuming that'll obviously be with England. So, do you think, Robert, that's one of the main reasons he's come to Rangers, because he wants to win stuff?
100%. He'll be at a stage in his career where that'll be the driver. He'll have all the money he'll need, and medals back on in your career. So I do think that will be a massive driver.
Right, Craig, you agree with that? You think that, obviously, as we say, he could have gone to Man United for a lot more money, sitting twiddling his thumbs, and potentially he could have won stuff with them potentially, But he's coming to Rangers. The guy obviously wants to play, as you say. He's a Man U fan, so he's turned them down. That's got to be good for us going forward. But he needs to hit the ground running. But the good thing is for us, if he doesn't, we've got Robbie McCrory sitting waiting to take the gloves off him.
Yeah, I think from what I hear, there was inklings that there was rumours he was going to sign last season, and obviously for whatever reason it didn't happen, and obviously we kept Alan McGregor on. So I don't think if he'd have had the choice, I think last summer he probably would have joined us last summer. I think he wants to play football, and I think it's nice having that stability at Man United of being number 3 and not ever playing and getting a hefty check at the end of the month. But goalkeepers and footballers, they want to play football. So for him, that's going to be the biggest thing for him. And like Robert said, he's going to look back at the end of his career, not looking at the bank balance. He'll want to look at stuff he's won, and he's got a good chance of doing that at Rangers. Yeah,
that's something I've banged on about long and weary. You got all these players that go places chasing the money but win absolutely nothing. The analogy I always put, Robert, is that they're sitting, the grandson sitting on their knee, and the grandson says, "Well, what did you win when you were a professional?" "Oh, but look at my bank balance." You can't show your grandkids your bank balance.
No, listen, there's been guys that have left Rangers. I always remember Big Bugera when he left Rangers, and he always said it was a regret of his because he won so much at Rangers, never won anything again when he left the club. So I think it's something you need to think about. Money's great, listen, it's fantastic, but once you've got enough, there comes a point when there needs to be something else that drives you, something else that motivates you. And I think obviously Michael Beale's spoke with Jack Butland, and if the whole I like to look players in the eye, you'd like to think he sat with Jack and had a good honest conversation, told him what he expects of him, told him what the club expects of him. And Butland will be under no illusions. He's going to come up here and he's going to have to perform. And I'm sure he will. Like, as I say, you mentioned clubs he's played for and concentration levels, and I have to echo Craig's sentiments. You don't become an international goalkeeper and be around that quality that England have had if you've not got it all. And I think he's been probably a little bit unlucky with injuries, certainly in the past. And I just think that this is hopefully going to be a big break for him and something that he can sink his teeth into and as we say, finish, look back on it with success.
Yeah, right, folks. Craig's had to leave us. He's somebody really shouldn't have been recording from. But anyway, it was good to have him along. So glad you jumped on, Robert. So we'll just keep this going for another couple of minutes. Stuart Henderson saying in the comments, "I think Butler's the first player we'll sign from Man United since Henning Berg." We didn't actually sign him from Man United. He was on loan there from Crystal
Palace.
So he was technically still a Palace player. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a fantastic signing. I mean, okay, yeah, he is going to be on a hell of a lot of money, you know what I mean? But he can repay that. If he gets us into the Champions League, he's repaid that in spades.
I think, though, just sort of on a more broader sort of scope, I think it's just great that we're getting business done this early. I think that's really imperative in terms of how much the squad needs to sort of evolve and change over this next window. And then also, I think you were saying about him maybe no playing as much football this year and getting him to speed. Well, he's going to have a full pre-season, and I don't think this pre-season is going to look anything like the last one. I think they're going to be working their socks off and ready for these qualifiers that are going to come thick and fast.
Yeah, 100%. I mean that's Sterling, Dowell, and Butland all in for no transfer fee. And okay, there'll be significant wages involved, as we say, but there's no transfer fee. I mean the boy Cifuentes, by all accounts, is on his way to Glasgow, if you believe what you read. So that's another one that we're going to have to pay money for him, because I believe he's got 6 months left on his deal with LAFC. But you're probably talking it shouldn't be a 7-figure fee. You're probably talking maybe £750,000. That sort of ballpark for that. So say he is £1 million. That's four players in for the start of pre-season for £1 million. I mean that's good business.
It's very good, yeah. I think on the face of it, especially Cifuentes, I know nothing about the kid. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I do, but you look at the reviews he gets from guys that I'll watch him, that could be a real coup as well. And again, we've touched on this many a time on this podcast. The two that he's brought in, the manager until now, have been fantastic. They look guys that you can sit hang your hat on. If these guys are anywhere near that, we've got a real chance.
Yeah, I mean, the concerning thing for me is the players we're bringing in. None of them fit this. We talked about it with John McLaughlin going down south because he fits the English trained kind of quota for these teams in Europe for Villa and the likes. My concern is we've lost it. We've lost 2 or 3 players that fit the Scottish criteria for us, and we're not replacing them. That's possibly going to cause us an issue with the European squad going forward.
Well, it's why I'm shocked that we're not getting linked to guys in the league, guys like Max Johnson, Kevin Nisbet, Lonnie Shankland, etc. I don't see us being linked with a hell of a lot of players from our own from our own league. So where are we going to get these guys from? Where are they coming in from so we can tick that box?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a box that doesn't need ticked. It just means we'd have to go into Europe because the squad, I think it's a 25-man squad, but 8 of them have to fit the criteria. So it might mean we have to go in light. I mean, we've got loads of youth players we can throw in there, but you don't really want to be putting them in just for the sake of putting them in. I mean, Beale said himself, they'll only get involved with the first team if they're good enough to get involved with the first team. So that for me is a bit of a worry. But it is early days. I mean, the transfer window's not even open yet. I mean, it doesn't open until next week.
And again, as I can't say that enough, it was something that was worrying me before we started bringing players in, was how quickly we're going to get deals done. Are we going to be sat here on podcasts, up until the end of the window talking about, well, we've not got this and we've not got that? I don't think we are. I think the manager's been very diligent. He's out there and he's looking at players and he's getting that. I know we've been linked to a couple of strikers as well. I think that's an area next that needs a lot of attention. I would say 2 minimum coming in there, please, if we can. And they look like they're going to cost a bit of money if reports are anything to be led by, to believe. The guy in Turkey, the big American boy, 7 million. The guy, the Belgian boy, Nigerian boy in Italy as well, another £6.5 million. So it's a lot of money getting chucked about there. I think that's the money you got to spend wisely is on a goal scorer.
Yeah, I think you're right. We have to. I mean, we have to bring in a couple of forward players. That's where we're going to spend the money. I mean, we've been really clever signing the players that we have signed and actually getting them for no transfer fee. And the fact that we haven't brought in a forward player and the window's not open yet tells me that we are spending money on a forward player or forward players because you can't announce them yet because you can't go and buy them. And those are the deals that will probably take a bit of time to go over. They might not be in for the start of pre-season because clubs are going to try and hold on. It might be a case of they'll let them go, but they want to replace them first, or they'll hold off, see what sort of other deals come in. Unless there's a player that's desperate to come to us and says, "Look, just let them go." That's what's possibly going to stall 1 or 2 of the signings.
When is the first qualifier? Have we got a date for that?
The second week in August is our first qualifier.
All right, that's not so bad then. So you'd like to think we'd have at least 1 forward player in by then. Rather than having to maybe put it all on Cholak if he's still around at that point. So, listen, it's all exciting, isn't it? We love the rumour mill. We love getting linked with players, and it's even better when we're announcing players and doing stuff like this. So, I don't think this will be the last one, Wilf.
You should know when the first qualifier is because you should already started your research for the European pod we're recording at the weekend.
I knew I was going to get a clip in there.
But no, it's very, 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 very encouraging. I mean, there's a few names getting thrown about in the comments. I don't really want to go into them because we'll talk about them when they become kind of real. The only reason I mentioned the boy Cifuentes, it's been reported from 1 or 2 usually reliable sources that he is on his way across to Glasgow.
Yeah,
so
I heard there was something reported in the Herald earlier on this afternoon. So it's another one that's gathered pace and it's another one that won't go away. So I think it looks a goer.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was all the rumours that we couldn't really speak to them until they played their whatever it was, their Super Cup or Champions League or whatever it was they were involved in. They've done that now. They've lost that. So they by all accounts, LAFC want to get money for him because he's out of contract in November. So it would make sense that he comes now. Because if they wait towards the end of the window, we're as well just waiting because there's not much difference between the 1st of September and the 1st of November. So we're as well getting that done as soon as if they do want money for him. You know,
It'll be another one, Will, though. Sorry, but another one where the manager wants him in now to get that pre-season in. I think he wants as many to start the pre-season together as we can, because we're going to need to build on whatever style of play he's going to go with, whatever formation he's going to go with. I know we've talked on here about 3 at the back, etc. So there's things that need working on, and you're better doing that as soon as possible.
You know, 100%. I mean, we've got to, you know, I mean, he brought in, that's why he brought in Cantwell and Raskin. I mean, we could have waited and signed them on pre-contracts, brought them in now. But we're lucky they came in, they hit the ground running, we know what we're getting, and they've still got a full pre-season to go. So I think the changes throughout the club are helping this as well, because John Bennett seems more receptive to spending money on players when you don't necessarily have to. If you can just sit and wait, because previously we've just sat and waited and well, we'll just sign them on a pre-contract and we'll just get them in 6 months' time when we really need them now.
No, I agree. But obviously we had the Suter one, didn't we? We could have got him in the bit better bid, and you know, things like these sort of rumble on. So as you say, it's better to get your business done early, and then you can move on to another target. You're no sort of waiting and on the other one, or someone else come in and pinching them off you. So no, delighted. I think we're the fears I had are getting allayed at the minute, so long may that continue.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll I know this is about the breaking transfer news of the new goalkeeper Jack Butland, but obviously tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, everybody will be queuing outside New Edmonton House to get their new tops. You'll be sitting in your house with your phone, two phones, computer, the whole lot. Make sure you don't get thrown out by the website buying your new top. So we've all seen photos of it, and I believe the photos are right. So what do you think of it?
Listen, I think it's one of them. I've always looked forward to the new top coming out since I was a wee boy. Used to be every summer, your new top, piss your mum and dad for it. So I'll be buying it, and I'll be wearing it with pride, and hopefully it's one we can look back on with fond memories, because that's what I think defines a Rangers jersey. You know, if you've got memories of doing well in Europe, or memories of winning cup doubles and, dare I say it, cup trebles, then the shirt goes into immortality, doesn't it? So if you don't win anything, then the shirt gets linked to negativity. So no, it looks nice. I like the collar. I'm always a fan of a V-neck. Shades of was it 2000? I want to say 6, is it? Shades of an older shirt anyway.
I'm sure Brian will tell us, because Brian's in the comments, and Brian's a bit of a shirt geek, so he'll tell us.
Come on, Brian, get the jersey in. Yeah, but I think Castore have always tried to maybe hark back to a jersey of old with their designs. So I didn't really enjoy the round neck of the home shirt this season there, but I've had it on. I wasn't a fan, so this V-neck looks nice, and I'm sure they'll sell thousands of them anyway. Well, if you know yourself, as long as it's no green, they'll sell it. All right.
Yeah, basically, if it's blue or orange, they'll sell bucket loads of them. I mean, when the news broke, I texted my pal that sent me a picture of it saying, "Breaking news: big shock, Rangers have blue home kit," because that people will buy it. You know what I mean? People will just buy it. So there we go, folks. Just a quick pod. Thanks to Craig for jumping on initially. He's had to rush off to help his good lady with the newborn. Robert for jumping on, fantastic. Great news that we've made another summer signing. Brought in Jack Butland, who has just tweeted, "Delighted and honoured to have joined such a special and successful club. Already counting the days to pull on the shirt in front of a packed Ibrox. That'll do for me."
Brilliant.
So with that, folks, we shall speak to you again, hopefully very soon, with more breaking news. Robert, once again, thanks a lot.
Cheers.
Everybody that's tuned in at late notice, absolutely brilliant. Thanks a lot. See you all soon.